have 1 week. The countdown is on for the big three automakers to make a deal with the UAW.
Union President Shawn Fain is taking to Facebook Live right about now to give an update. We are going to have more on this coming up.
A strike could cost automakers billions of dollars. It could also pump car prices higher if fewer new vehicles are being able to be produced.
And today, Stellantis is offering to raise union wages by more than 14%. But the UAW is asking for 40%. Fox 2's Hillary Golston joining us live with the latest on it all. Hillary.
Yeah, the big news is Stellantis has presented that counteroffer to the UAW, calling it a really good week at the bargaining table, having, according to them, made tremendous progress on hundreds of issues. But the impact, as you mentioned right at the outset, for the economy is tremendous. The auto industry accounting for 3% of economic output in the United States. So the UAW tweeting with, let's say, a slightly different tone. On X, the UAW posted this late Friday afternoon. Stellantis finally responds. They have the money. They just don't want Stellantis workers to get our fair share.
I would classify all three proposals as basically in the same ballpark.
And there's your neutral assessment of what Stellantis is proposing for most represented workers, coming from Dr. Merrick Masters at Wayne State, who closely follows unions and labor management. The proposal includes wage increases in each year of a new multi-year deal totaling 14.5% with no lump sum payments, a $6,000 one-time inflation protection payment in the first year of the contract, and $4,500 in inflation protection payments over the final 3 years of the deal.
They're giving a wage increase that, from the union's perspective, looks modest.
Ford offered 9% raises and lump sum payments over 4 years. GM's deal is 10% plus lump sums.
There is a lot of territory to cover. There's a large gap between the companies and the union now, and it's going to be hard to close that gap and cover the other territory that needs to be covered by the deadline.
This is the members' employment contract. They're going to make this decision.
Brian Rothenberg, former spokesperson for the UAW, speaking with us from Ohio. Obviously, he can't speak on behalf of the union, but he's been there before and knows the process inside and out.
The process usually happens at the table and isn't so public. So, you know, the union is communicating in a totally new way of bargaining. It started, I saw the Teamsters do this as well, and they're doing it very publicly with you know, social media, which is great. Part of the proposed deal, Juneteenth, would be a paid holiday, and supplemental employees would see a wage increase from a starting rate of $4.22 per hour, that increasing now. The UAW demanded a 46% bump across the board across 4 years. Now, there is some distance to make up. The deadline is rapidly approaching. Close to 150,000 UAW members could go on strike if there isn't a resolution with all three, and the UAW president, Shawn Fain, has intimated that could for sure be in the cards if they don't come to terms.
Well, I guess the question that we have then, you talk about how far apart they are right now. You know, they're asking for 40%, and the big three are not offering anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
Is it possible that they could just say, look, let's just work on an extension in the midst of everything going on, including the auto show next week?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, that's always something that they could do. That's something that they've never done really before. So when you're talking about a contract extension, I think for the workers, they feel as though they've been dealing with this since July. I mean, really in negotiations. Right. Brian Rothenberger, who can't speak on behalf of the union, but knows the negotiations in and out, says this has been going on now for months. So is it appropriate to extend a contract when all the elements have been known even before that, preceding the official beginning of negotiations? And remember, it's not just about salary, it's about benefits, it's about pension, it's about health care, it's about all these things that make up the lives of our automakers who, as we've established, support a significant part of our economy.
And sad part, it will have a huge impact, layers of our economy, if they do go on strike. So we can only hope for a resolution, but be prepared just in case they do.
So true. 4.5% of all jobs in the United States are supported by the auto industry. $500 billion generated by the workers who do this work. I mean, of course, not just the big three, but across the United States. So this is so integral to having a successful economy and from keeping us from going into a recession.
Yeah, the damage could be great if this isn't resolved. We'll, of course, keep everybody updated every step of the way.
Thanks, Hillary.
Hillary, thank you.
You're welcome.